This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, Agun Erev Shabbos Rabbi. Welcome everybody. This will be our Shiur on Tefillah, but amazingly, this is also on this week's Parsha. If I may, want to let everybody know the new Sefer on Shemos has arrived. It's available with free shipping anywhere in America. On the email that we sent out, there's a link to order it. On the site, it's not yet up, but Bez Hashem will be soon. And today we're going to focus on, in the Berachas Kriya Shema, we say, Yoitzer Or, God creates light. Uboirei Choshech, He creates darkness. He fashions light, He creates darkness. Oiseh Shalom, He makes peace. Uvoirei Es HaKol, and He creates everything. Our Tefillah Shiur is generously sponsored by Yedidi Rebbe Tzal Rose and families Echnishnas Tzvi Ben Levi Yitzchak, Neshama Shem Aliyah B'Yomei Yosef Yisrael family Ad B'Yaskol Tzedek. And we say Uvoirei Es HaKol, He creates everything. That's what I would like to focus on today. In Berachas Hamazon we say Haracham ani yivarech oisi ves ishti ves zari oisanu ves kasha alanu, us and everything we have. Kamoshenas baruch aviseinu, just like our forefathers were blessed. Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, and they were blessed. BaKol, with everything. MiKol, from everything. Kol, everything. What exactly is this expression? In Yiddish, there's an expression, in English the expression is from soup to nuts. In Lashon HaKodesh, the expression is, in Yiddish, he has kekoift, BaKol, MiKol, Kol. He bought the whole thing, What is this expression? What is this phraseology? Where does it come from? BaKol, MiKol, Kol. The Gemara says in Baba Basra, 3 people, Hashem gave them a taste in this world, me'ein olam haba. Who are they? Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Avraham, BaKol. Yitzchak, MiKol. Yaakov, Kol. 3 people the Yetzer Hara did not rule over. Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. How do I know? BaKol, MiKol, Kol. 6 people the angel of death did not rule over. Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, like it says, BaKol, MiKol, Kol. Now, where does it say that Hashem blessed Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, BaKol, MiKol, and Kol? Well, in Parshas Chayisar it says, V'Avram, Zakin, Baba, Yomim, Hashem Berches Avram, BaKol. In Toldos, it says, Yitzchak was afraid, and he says, MiKol it says, and in this week's Parsha, Esav says, Yeshli Rav, I have a lot. So Yaakov said, Kach nazber chazeh shavuslach, ki chanani alekim, v'chi Yeshli Chayil. So Yaakov says Kayil. So Avraham had BaKol, Yitzchak had MiKol, Yaakov had Kayil. By the way, the Gemara in Soita says that if somebody is arrogant, he will be diminished. Like it says, Rumai Ma'at, if he elevates himself, he'll be diminished. But not only diminished, he'll be taken out of this world. But if somebody repents, he will die in his opportune time. Like it says, V'humchu kikayel. If he's lowered, he will be like Kayel. Who's Kayel? Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, about who it says, BaKol, MiKol, Kol. So the first thing we have to understand is, what does it mean that Avraham was the midah of BaKol, Yitzchak was the midah of MiKol, Yaakov was Kol? After all Yitzchak is saying is he ate from everything. He ate from everything Yaakov Avinu cooked for him. But how in any way does that demonstrate, like the Gemara says, that 3 people tasted Olam Haba in Olam Hazeh? 3 people the Yetzer Hara did not rule over. 3 people the Malach HaMavis did not rule over. Where do we see anything about that? So, but just as an aside, in the Sefer Matei Moshe, who is a Talmud Muvak of the Marshal, he brings in number 10 that the correct way to say it in benching is BaKol, MiKol, Choyol. Choyol. Why? Because in this week's Parsha, Yaakov Avinu says, Yesh li Choyol. So the correct pronunciation should be BaKol, MiKol, Choyol. But then, the Matei Moshe says he doesn't feel you need to do that. Because the only reason why in this week's Parsha is Yesh li Choyol is because of the rule of Beged Kefes. That when a letter like Beis Gimel Dalet, a Kaf Pei or Taf, is preceded by a vowel like an Aleph Hey or a Yud, it drops the Dagesh. So that's why Yaakov says V'chiyesh li Choyol. It's preceded by a Yud. But in Berchas Hamazon, where it's BaKol, MiKol, Koil, there's no reason to say BaKol, MiKol, Choyol. There it's more, the way he says it very cute. He says, Ein lachush hechazakhu harafeh. You know that pasuk in Shlach? Go spy out the land. Hachazakhu oy harafeh. But chazak could mean a word with a dagesh. Rafeh could mean a word without a dagesh. He says, there's no concern whether you're madgishid or not. So, therefore, correctly it's BaKol, MiKol, Koil, not Choil. The Ramban in Parshas Chayei brings, discussing the machlokes, the Gemara in Baba Basra discusses, it says, Vashem berachas Avraham BaKoil. So one Gemara says that Avraham had a daughter named Koil. One opinion says, no, he didn't have a daughter. That's what it means, he had everything. The Ramban says that this is not to be taken literally, that it's a discussion, did Avraham have a daughter, did he not have a daughter? But the Ramban says that this Gemara is a very deep Gemara that contains secrets of the Torah. The word BaKoil is merames to something great. Hashem has a midah. It's called Koil, which is Yesoid HaKoil. Like the pasuk says, Anochi Hashem Oiseh Koil. Like the pasuk says, Yisroin Eretz BaKoilhu. That the advantage of the world and its great toiva, that its mashpia is with the midah of BaKoil. The Ramban says the midah of BaKoil is the 8th midah of the Yud Gimel Midas, which is the midah of emes. BaKoil comes from the midah of emes. And through it, God runs the world. In Shir Hashirim, it's referred to as Kala. Says the Torah's Chaim, one of the Kadmonim on Shas, Avram Chaim Shiur, I believe. The Torah's Chaim says that, what does the Gemara mean? Yitzchak was Toyim Gan Eden, and the Yetzer Hara had no dominion over him, like it says, Va'oichal MiKol, he ate MiKol. He was just saying, he ate from everything. How do we see from there anything about his experiencing Olam Haba in this world? So the Torah's Chaim says that, according to the Ramban, when it says Hashem blessed Abraham BaKoil, Hashem blessed Abraham with the midah of koil. The midah of koil is koilel all the toivos. And therefore Yitzchak and Yaakov also had a Kabbalah of Shefa from this midah. So therefore it says Yitzchak had MiKol, Yaakov had koil. So Avraham was given a matana of the midah of koil. Hashem berachas Avraham BaKoil. And from Avraham to Yitzchak. And from Yitzchak to Yaakov, who said V'yesh li koil. So from here we see the Avos HaKadoshim had from this great midah of koil. Now fasten your seatbelts. This is Oyam V'Noira. It seems like then, who had the greatest connection to the midah of koil? Yaakov. because he's koil. Avraham is only BaKol, with it. Yitzchak is from it. Yitzchak sounds like he had the least of it. BaKol is not mamish everything either. Says the Chassam Sofer, with this we could understand the pasuk about Yishmael. Watch this, it's Ayim v'Naira. V'hu yiyah pera adam. He's going to be a wild mule. Yodai BaKol. When Klal Yisrael are on the lower level of BaKol, not with all kol, but with some of it, then Yishmael is Yodai BaKol. Yishmael, his hand is against BaKol. But Viyad Koil, when we're on the epitome of Koil, pure Koil, boy, our hand is against him. You hear this? Yodai, his hand. Yishmael is successful when we're on a lower level of BaKol. But when we're Koil, Viyad Kol boy, we're up against him. Says the Chassam Sofer, unbelievable. He says, probably because Avraham was given the blessing of BaKol, he probably named his daughter after it. The Ramban learns, when we say Avraham had a daughter, BaKol, it means he had such connection to the midah of koil, it was to him like a daughter. And now the question is, so why didn't Avraham marry this girl BaKol off to Yitzchak? He says it could be because if he would have married her to Yitzchak, then Yitzchak would have been on the madrega of BaKol, then Yishmael would have had shlita over him. Because it's Yadai, the hand of Yishmael, is up against BaKol. So that's why Avram couldn't marry BaKol off to Yitzchak. Now watch this. God has 4 names. Ka, 15. Joe, I know you. I need you to add this up, okay? Ka is 15. Elohim is 86. Havaya is 26. Adnos is 65. Okay?
188.
Okay, 15.
121, and how much is the last one?
65.
186.
No. 15 and 86 is 101.
101, right.
Plus 26.
26 is 127.
Plus 65.
192.
192. 192, Gematria, BaKol, MiKol, Koil. That's the Chassam Sofer. The 4 names of Hashem, Ka, Elohim, Havaya, Adnos, is 192. Gematria, BaKol, MiKol, Koil. Says the Chassam Sofer, I know I've overstepped my boundaries. Hashem should forgive me for revealing this great information. Unbelievable. By the way, Chassam Sofer says, watch this. He says, Hashem beirach es Avraham BaKol. So Rashi says, BaKol is Gematria Ben, a son. When he had a son, he had to marry him off. So he says we could say a remez like this. Avraham, blessed, was given BaKol. BaKol means with Koil. Who's Koil? Yaakov will come from him. Yaakov, he was blessed. Vashem be'ezavram BaKol with Yaakov. So now the question is, but Avram didn't produce a Yaakov. He only produced a Yitzchak, who's MiKol. So now Avraham says, Hashem blessed me that Yaakov will come from me, but I didn't produce a Yaakov. It must be I'm going to have to marry off Yitzchak, because Yitzchak's only MiKol, and in order for me to get Koil, I'm going to have to marry this kid off. By the way, the Chassam Sofer also talks about the ultimate blessing is v'samachta b'chol hatoiv, as opposed to hamalach hagar loisi MiKol ra. Okay. Now, many years ago, I thought to say as follows, and I believe I saw it in the Vilna Gaon once upon a time. I could not find it last night. I found someone else says it. In the Haggadah, we say, Tseu lamad, ma bikesh lavan harami lasos liYaakov Avinu. Shalavan bikesh lakar es hakoil. So all the Mefarshim struggle. What does it mean, Lavan wanted to uproot everything? He just wanted to kill Yaakov. That's what it means. Lavan bikesh lakar es hakoil. Yaakov is hakoil. That's what it means. Yaakov is a midah of koil. So Lavan bikesh lakar es hakoil. Interestingly, the Me'am Loyes brings, amazingly, why were the Avos HaKadoshim zoicha to the brachos of BaKol, MiKol, and Kol? The Me'am Loyes says they were zoicha to that because they gave Maaser MiKol. They gave Maaser MiKol. They gave Maaser MiKol. So they gave Maaser MiKol. They were given the bracha of Kol. The Shari Oira of Rabbi Yosef Gektilya, he brings that he says V'ata yesh l'cha lishmar klal zeh, preserve the following klal. B'chol makom she'ata motzei lashon koil, which is, it refers to the midah of keil chai, which is also 50, which is 49. Sometimes it's the midah of adnus, and sometimes it's moira on all the nivram entirely. Yetav Panim of Satmar brings that when Yaakov Avinu says, Birchas avicha gavru al birchas harai, the blessing of your father was greater than the blessing of my parents. So, the Yetav Panim says that Hashem beirachas Avraham BaKol, only with it. Yitzchak is from it. But Yaakov was zoichet to it entirely. Koil. So that's what it means. My blessing, Yaakov is saying, is greater than the blessing of my parents. Says the Yetav Panim, Yosef was given the blessing of Koil. That blessing that I was greater than my forefathers, Tiena leroish Yosef, should be on the head of Yosef. And therefore Yosef says, Koil asher yesh lo nosan biyadi. Koil is even olam haba. Now, we're almost done. By the way, the Chafetz Chaim says very beautifully, if we study the language and the difference between Yaakov and Esav. Esav says, Yesh li rav, I have a lot. Yaakov says, Yesh li koil, I have everything. So Rashi learns that what Esav is saying is, I have too much, more than I need. But the Chafetz Chaim says this could be interpreted simply as follows as well. That in these two expressions, it really sums up the difference in the hashkafa of Esav and Yaakov. The hashkafa of Esav is, yeah, I have a lot. I have a house. But I could have a nicer house. I have a car. But I could have a better car. I have money. But I don't have money like Elon Musk. Or some of these, heavy rollers. I have a nice family, but it could be better. That's the midah of Esav. Esav is, I have a lot, but I don't have everything. There's still more. The midah of Yaakov is yesh li koil. I have everything. The car that I have is the perfect car for me, because that's what Hashem sent to me. And the house that I have is the perfect house for me. And if I downsize to an apartment, then the location I'm at, that's the perfect location for me. And if I have a big house, but the guy across the street is bigger, it wouldn't be good for me to have a bigger house. I have everything. That's the midah of Yaakov Avinu. That's the midah of koil. My good friend, Rabbi Yaron Halbertal, many years ago, told me about a comment of the Vilna Gaon at the end of Masechta Kelim. Really an amazing comment. We have a system of gematria called Atbash. Aleph is transposed to a Taf, Beis to a Shin, Gimel to a Kuf, Gimel to a Reish, Daled to a Kuf. And that's a very odd system. Like, why would you transpose one letter for another? And the Vilna Gaon, commenting on the word Kalim, he talks about how the world has three parts: heaven, earth, water. The earth is called Koil. Because it includes all creation and all plants and all inanimate objects. And everything on the world is tameh. Any entities on earth are tameh. The yam, on the other hand, is tahar. Everything in the yam is tahar. Anything that's tameh on the earth is tahar in the water. There are 9 rikiyim. And that means there are 11 levels of existence. 9 firmaments, 9 rikiyah. There's Eretz and there's Yam. And corresponding to that is Atbash. Aleph, Taf, Beis, Shin, Gimel, Reish, Dalid, Kuf, Hey, Tzadi, Vav, Pei, Zayin, Ayin, Ches, Samach, Tes, Nun, Yud, Mem. The first 9 are the 9 Rakiyah. Yud, Mem is the sea. Kaf, Lamed is the earth. 9 keneged the 9 Rakiyah, Yam keneged the Yam, Kol keneged Haaretz. So in Atbash, first you have Yam, and then you have Kaf Lamed. Mesechta Kalim, and that's Kalim. Kaf Lamed Yud Mem. Kalim is Ashrecha Kalim. First Koil and then Yam. First the word Koil and then Yam. Because through the what's Tameh and Koil, the earth, it's Machnes Latara in the Yam. So Ashrecha Kalim, it's Mascheles Betuma V'soifai Betara. It begins with Kaf Lamed and it ends with Yud Mem. But basically, there's also an idea, Marv Rabbi Sai, that every level that we ascend to Hashem, God descends to us. Every movement we make toward HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem comes to us. The ultimate fusion of heaven and earth, the ultimate connection between Hashem, is not when we go up Aleph and Hashem comes to Taf, or we go up Gimel and Hashem goes to Reish, or we go to Tzadi and Hashem goes to Vav and we go to... The ultimate connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu is when we go up to Kaf and Hashem comes down to Lamed. That's the midah of Koil. That's the midah of Yaakov Avinu, like we have in this week's Parsha, that Yaakov Avinu was the Merkava to the Shechina. That's the ultimate fusion of Shamayim Va'aretz. Koil. Yam is pretty close. Yam is going up to the Yud and Hashem comes down to the Mem. The ultimate connection is the midah of Koil, which is really the midah of Shalom. Reb Nissim Alpert suggests, Esav says, Yesh li Rav. Yaakov says, Yesh li Koil. Esav comes with his sword, his spear. Milchama. Yadav Ravloi. Yesh li Rav. I'm a man of Milchama. Yaakov says, no, I'm a man of Shalom. Yesh li Koil. Because Ein HaKadosh Baruch Hu Matzah Kli Machzik Bracha La Shalom. Shalom contains everything. Everything is contained in Shalom. When Yaakov Avinu says, Yesh li Koil, he says, Esav, I'm not interested in fighting with you. I have the midah of Koil. The midah of Koil is perfect fusion of heaven and earth. Complete shlemos, complete peace. Accordingly, we could say that in the bracha of davening, Yoitzer Or Uvayrei Choshech Oiseh Shalom, God makes peace. How? Through the midah of Uvayrei Es HaKoil. Koil is the midah of Shalom. Koil is as we go up to the highest possible level, Hashem comes down to meet us right where we are. Marv Rabbi say, have a wonderful Shabbos. Bracha v'atzlacha. Hashem should bless you. BaKol, MiKol, Koil 192, all the 4 names of Hashem. Have a great Shabbos. Yes.
Amen.
If you read, I figured out the last part, BaKol, MiKol, Kol. But if you read it backwards, Kol is L'cha, MiKol is Lachem. You have to figure out what is Lamed Chav Beis. You tie it together. Just as Hashem gives, everything to us, He gives it to you singular, to you plural, and I don't know.
Lakoiv is, I don't know, I'm not sure what that is. But I do want to point out.
Wait a minute, L'chol b'nei Yisrael. I don't know.
Okay, good.
You got me thinking.
Okay, great. I want to point out that even though it seems like Avram had BaKol, Yitzchak had MiKol, but nobody had it fully like Yaakov Avinu, there must be an element of BaKol and an element of MiKol that maybe is even more than Yaakov. Otherwise, we should just say, Yaakov, Koil. Why even invoke Avraham and Yitzchak? It must be there's something about each one of these three are special. Maybe Koil is the most all-encompassing, but there must be something unique about what Avraham got and what Yitzchak got. Agun Shabbos, Rabbi say, Kol Tov.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.